if it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kinda patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. We're going to talk a lot about Cardano today. There's just so much happening, but there's also some things that I wanted to kind of discuss a little bit. You know, I've been seeing so many different articles and videos and so much about Cardano lately, and it seems like everybody is trying to create an atmosphere of positivity in a market that simply isn't agreeing with anyone right now. And I just did a little bit of a write-up in my newsletter and so forth, and just explaining briefly kind of what my thoughts are on everything that's happening. You know, if we're looking at coin market cap, you see Bitcoin at under 14.5, Ethereum sitting around 3,800. You see Cardano's dropped down into the 7th spot in terms of market capitalization, and it just seems like it's oozing. If you look at like Binance Coin, I mean, that's back up to $516. I mean, that's insanity. I remember when it was like, I think at one point it was at like $18 or something. Or Ethereum was at $80. Cardano was at 2 cents, right? And I know that especially for a lot of newcomers, you know, they're everybody think, oh, it's over. The market's over. Everybody's crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. This is just like what happened before where the market dropped. And it could be, to be quite frank, it could be. I personally don't think it is. I think all on-chain metrics are pointing to an elongated bull market. I think pretty much any indication of the market is showing that this isn't over, that what we had was kind of the tremors before the earthquake, so to speak. We haven't had any kind of real significant blow off top. I mean, keep in mind that generally in the peak of a market, the majority of the gains over an entire market cycle happen in the last like 60 to 90 days at best. And we haven't really had that. I'm looking at Cardano right now, and it's still ticking down. I mean, it's been hovering between $1.21 and $1.30, and it's just been kind of going up and down that way. And I'm not going to lie and say that I'm not concerned. I am, because the question is, how much does positive development and positive news truly impact the cycle? And how much of it is truly affected by whales? Because, you know, we've seen on-chain transactions that show, you know, when Cardano starts to get to a new all-time high or a new peak, the whales start dumping, stop the market, move the price lower. We've seen a lot of price suppression across Cardano and other projects. We've seen a lot of stuff like this. And the question is why? Is it because it's an easier situation to push newcomers out of the space? Think about it this way. When Cardano was 2 cents, and there was a period of time I was able to buy 400,000 ADA for 1 Bitcoin, and I didn't do it. Why didn't I do it? Because there was still so much unproven. And I felt in my heart that while I believed in Cardano, I already owned some. And while I wanted to accumulate more, I wanted to just see a little bit more. I mean, back then Cardano had really done nothing yet. I mean, nothing at all. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, there was a wallet. And so it's that kind of sentimentality of doubt. It's that, well, I do believe in it, but I still need to see it. It's almost like trust but verify. And that was kind of the mentality that I had back then. Now I'm 100%. I absolutely wholeheartedly believe in ADA. And I think that they've met every milestone. They've done significant work and they continue to do significant work. They continue to expand their team and their operation and so forth and so on. And I'm going to show you some of this stuff coming. But ultimately, I think it's this fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And there are so many people out there that are putting that into the minds of everyone. And not even just about Cardano, but about the market in general. Because as a newcomer to the space that doesn't fully understand what's happening, what has happened, the technology behind it, it's easy to shake them out. Even if they bought in higher, they're basically suffering a price suppression in an accumulation period where there's not an extreme amount of volume at all. The volume is pretty low across the board. The majority of ADA being in circulation is being staked on nodes. So for the same way, it's actually easier in most cases for the price to go up than it is to go down. But if there's no sentiment and everybody's kind of ho-hum waiting, like I was waiting from 2 cents. I wanted to see some more stuff before I got in heavy. It's the same thing that's happening now. The price has been trending down. So people are saying, listen, before I get in or get back in, I want a confirmation that the price is going to continue going up from here. And we're going to have, once it's been proven that this is in fact going to be a 2-peak market, I believe money is going to flood, not just into Cardano, but into everything. And I think that's the big question. The big question right now is, are we in a 1-peak market that's over? Are we in a 2-peak market that's still much, much more to come? I can show logarithmic charts. There's so many other YouTubers, Benjamin Cowan, Eric Crown, a lot of these guys who have been showing these logarithmic charts, showing that the growth cycle, the elongated cycles, how this is expected to pan out. A lot of them are looking at potentially a June 2nd peak. I called the first peak to pretty much the day. I mean, I called it on Twitter and I said, this is the first of what I believe are going to be 2 peaks. And a lot of people shit on me. And I said, listen, I'm not trying to FUD the market. This is what I see. And there's this other misconception that so many people have when YouTubers, I know that if I were to come on here and do a video, Bitcoin 100x from here, here's why, or Cardano 100x from here, here's why. Those are the videos that get all the views. Those are the videos that bump channels, get the subscribers. We all know that. Some of us thrive on that kind of thing. Some of us don't. The problem is that when we post something that's kind of an argument to the everything's to the moon sentiment, you guys don't like it. But I feel like there are many of us who are willing to accept that and continue pushing forward with our message. It doesn't mean it's that way forever. It's just what we're seeing now. And I've called this kind of stuff and people don't want to hear it. And then when it becomes true, they think you caused it. It's like you can't win no matter what you do, which is one of the reasons why I always say you watch YouTubers to be pointed in a direction and take it from there. Don't trust us or listen to us about anything specific, especially if we're talking about our favorite coins, or I talk about Cardano a lot. If you don't like it, don't fucking buy it. It's that simple. Do your own research and come up with your own conclusion about what you think is going to be popular and why. I've said that from the beginning. But at the same time, when we come out and we say, hey, this doesn't look good for the short term, but long term, we think this is going to do very, very well, then take it as that. And take everything we say with a grain of salt. But don't hold us, you can't shit on us when things aren't good and then praise us when things are good. Like it shouldn't really work that way. A lot of people give me credit for, Crow, you got me into Cardano back in the day, and I'm a multimillionaire now, and I'm so happy, and everything's paid off. It's like, cool, I'm glad, but you did that. I didn't. I just pointed you in the right direction. It just happened to be one direction that turned out to be accurate. all my picks aren't accurate. I mean, there isn't a single YouTube on the interwebs that makes 100% accurate picks all the time, which is why we always say, don't invest more than you can afford to lose and do your own damn research. Because honestly, even I used to do countless hours of research on the daily, but I refer to other YouTubers. I watch so much stuff, and it's not because we don't necessarily know, but it's because you never know what somebody else might find that might be helpful. And so in a sense, we're all working together as a community. So you can either help become a part of that community and offer guidance and assistance for all of us, because we all could use the help. All right. I mean, we can't possibly read every video, watch every article, and dive into, 4,000 projects. It's not possible. That's why a lot of times when, people go, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? I don't know because I don't sit around reading about every shitcoin on the internet all the time, especially nowadays. I've just learned the shitcoins are going to be the first to go. So, it is what it is. But I wanted to show you this. This is basically the Binance.com order book. And if we wanted to move, like right now, the price is sitting at $1.21. If we wanted to move the price from $1.21 to $1.33 just on this exchange, it would cost about $8.6 million. All right, just to put things into perspective, if somebody were to do a market order, which keep in mind, I don't see this mentioned enough. There's a lot of over-the-counter trading going on, folks. People are suppressing the price on the exchanges, then they're buying it in mass over the counter, and then they can push the price up willy-nilly. That's the thing I don't see anybody really talking about or referencing. I feel like we've all forgotten about over-the-counter trades. Just because there are a lot more places for people to buy crypto doesn't mean the whales aren't doing their dirty business on exchanges while they're accumulating over the counter. And there are a lot of exchanges out there that offer over the counter services. So don't think over the counter just means you're buying, like you're going to buy a 9 millimeter or something from the trunk of some guy unannounced and undocumented. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, a lot of exchanges will do over-the-counter bulk deals for, over like $1 million or for like high volume clients and things like that, because nobody wants to suffer the slippage and nobody wants to sit around, waiting for 3 or 4 days for a market limit order to go through. So they just do it over the counter. So keep that in mind. But if we wanted to move the price on exchanges, the community, the retail market would basically have to buy in about $8.6 million worth of ADA. So when we see a price go to $1.30, which like we just saw, that's over $6 million entering the space. If we wanted to push the price down to just $1.10, we're looking at $9.5 million worth of Cardano sold on the way down. So it's going to take $10 million to push the price from $1.20. It's easier to push the price up than it is to push the price down right now, is my point. So, which is also one of the reasons why I feel like it's taking a long time, because anytime we get a pump, we see some significant transactions happening on chain, and they're whales trying to stop the market. Now, I don't know if it's big money people from competing projects that are doing this. I don't know if it's people that bought in at 2 cents. They see a $2 price and they're like, I'm just going to take my profits now because it's towards the end of the year and I'm going to have to pay taxes on a lot of this stuff. I got to cash out before the end of the year. Then everybody's waiting for the right time. It's a lot of different factors. But what I believe, and what I believe wholeheartedly, is that the first quarter of January, you better hold on tight, because the first quarter of January, I think, is going to be the outset of the next peak to come. And I think it's going to hit hard. Cardano especially, I think, is going to hit very, very hard. We'll go over some of the reasons why now. Cardano lending platform MELD to use a force bridge for added liquidity. Cardano DeFi banking protocol MELD has announced that it will be utilizing the force bridge as a way to increase liquidity for its platform. The MELD platform, built on Cardano, recently made headlines for attracting more than $1 billion worth of staked ADA to its protocol. It will be looking to increase liquidity even further thanks to the ADA to CKB force bridge, which is still in development. The Force Bridge went live on mainnet in October to support cross-chain transactions between Nervos and Ethereum. We'll also offer additional Ross chain support for Cardano, Bitcoin, Tron, EOS, and Polkadot. I will say I just had a paid segment come in for Nervos. They want to wait until the middle of January before I release it. Okay, that's I guess that's as inside a tip as you can get. And in full disclosure, the order came in, they've already paid for the segment, but they don't want to come out with anything until the middle of January. And I don't even know what they're wanting to come out with. But the point is, they're not saying, do this now, we want it ASAP. They're saying, wait until the new year, because that's when everything is going to pop off. So take that as you may. In June, IOHK and Nervos announced they were teaming up to build the bridge between Nervos and Cardano. Once completed, this pioneering cross-chain bridge will enable users to transact assets between the two blockchains. The end goal is to foster greater interoperability while expanding the global reach and utility of both Nervos and Cardano. On Cardano, a gold-backed stablecoin is introduced. This is a little bit old, but it's not something I've seen a lot talked about, and it leads into something else that I'm going into. During a UK financial newspaper crypto summit, City AM, the liquidity protocol for decentralized finance, MELD, has announced a three-way partnership with Tingo Holdings, Nigeria's largest cellular network, and Ubuntu Tribe, an ethical crypto company that tokenizes natural resources, primarily gold. Two of the largest gold mines in the world are in Africa. In case you don't know, now you know. As part of the new partnership, the Cardano-based DeFi protocol, which enables users to lend, borrow, and invest their assets, has plans to launch a gold-backed one stablecoin. This is going to be pretty big because Tingo has I don't remember what it is, tens of millions of customers, and they're going to be accessing Cardano, MELD, and this new stable token. And this is MELD, your mental wealth. I like that. The banking stack for DeFi. MELD is the first DeFi non-custodial banking protocol. You can securely lend and borrow both crypto and fiat currencies with ease and stake your MELD tokens for APY. I might do a deep dive into this. There's read the white paper. I hear that white paper calling my name. You'll have to let me know in the comments below if you think it's worth the time. Are you going to tune in if I do a deep dive into MELD and see what this is all about? A lot of stuff is happening. Q4, MELD staking, Adamantic Bridge 1.0. Looking forward to it. 2022, MELD on PancakeSwap, lending, borrowing, MELD vaults, MELD Chainlink Oracle. A lot of big stuff going on. And then the Tingo MELD mobile app. That's going to be coming in 2022, and I look forward to that. Now, Tingo International Holdings, Inc. secures $400 million in capital commitment from global emerging markets as company seeks to go public in the coming months. This is back in June 3rd of 2021. But just to give you an idea that these guys are well-funded, well-capitalized. This is the Ubuntu Tribe. And I'm not going to lie, when I first went to this site, hopefully it loads, I watched this video. And I don't know why, much like everything else, it actually got me emotional to watch. I encourage you to check it out. utribe.one. Check it out. This video.
What if you are, or what time it is? Investors and people.
This video, it's like a pitch about what they're doing, what they're building, about gold mining and what, their mission and all that. But for whatever reason, it got me a little emotional. And I think it's because in watching this, I kind of get an idea as to what the future holds. And whether you like Cardano or not, Cardano is playing a significant role in a lot of the blockchain development, and the adoption and the use case and everything that's going on in Africa. And I think it's such a huge deal. I don't really think people understand the magnitude of what's actually being built and what kind of infrastructure is being laid out in Africa as it relates to blockchain technology. I really don't think people understand it yet, but you will. The question is, are you going to realize it when it's too late? Or are you going to be an early adopter and what's being developed to facilitate all of these things? That's pretty much the question. The 10 largest gold mines in the world, number 1 is in South Africa. Number 8 is in South Africa. So you've got a lot of gold, and basically a big part of the problem and what this gentleman addresses in this video is how it's not just about mining gold. It's about mining gold responsibly in a like a safe, an efficient way so that it's not wasteful and wasting valuable resources in the name of greed. And a lot of this is, I think this is going to be very cool. And they're basically building this partnership to have a gold-backed stable token. I would love to have a gold-backed stable token from companies that I feel are much more trustworthy than some of the others I've seen out there, because those have come and gone, and I think a lot of those are just garbage. But this is, you've got publicly traded companies with hundreds of millions of dollars in capital that are putting this together. This isn't a quick cash grab. So now this is also something that I want to address, because I honestly think that this is going to change a lot, and I'm seeing it already. And I'm like, man, I'm talking to my developer. I'm like, how do we do this? Maybe this is a way we can launch Crow token, and do it so that people don't have to pay anything for it, and B, we can distribute it automatically in a fun way, and basically by setting up like an initial stake pool offering. So we could potentially set up a staking pool, and people will delegate their ADA to it. And instead of ADA, they would be getting whatever calculation or ratio of Crow tokens we assign. And basically using the technology of Cardano to create our own stake pool with our own token, kind of like Sunday Swap and some of these other groups are doing. But this is a really big deal. And I think this is the kind of thing that is the only reason why I'm not actively pursuing it is because I still don't understand like the regulatory side of it. Me, I'm not looking for trouble from anyone, but how is this being looked at? That's the big question. I don't know yet, but these initial stake pool offerings, I think, are going to completely replace a lot. Because the thing of it is we are getting the value of having the ADA delegated to the node, right? But instead of the delegator getting ADA as well, they're just getting the token that we issue. The thing of it is we want to have a lot of use cases and benefits for those token holders outside of, hey, I've got some of Crow's token. So I'll definitely keep people up to date on that as things progress. Obviously, you've got Sunday Swap and Testnet that's coming very soon. I'm guessing this is going to be a January mainnet launch, so we'll see. ADA protocol efficiency on Cardano and handling interest rates. Crypto traders turn to fixed income instruments like bonds and stocks to diversify their portfolios. The cryptocurrency market is a legitimate source of debt securities that are no less reputable than their equivalents and is a substantial economic force to reckon with. With interest rate derivative products, the creditors in the cryptocurrency market mostly comprised of lenders. I'm going to go ahead and skip that article. Whoever wrote that, I'm not sure what they're. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, do they understand what they're actually saying, or is this written by AI? But anyway, ADA. I mean, I know that's another big kind of a DeFi platform. I want to let everybody know I'm getting big in Axie Infinity. Well, I won't say I'm getting big, but I'm really kind of enjoying it. It is a fun little game. Costs about like $450 in Ethereum to get started, because you've got to buy these little characters. You need 3 of them to start your team, and there's like it's actually, honestly, I'm pretty impressed with this. It's a brilliant idea. You buy these with like a 0 breed count, you level them up, and you can level them up either against other players or in like the NPC kind of adventure series that they've got going on. And then you get these little bottles of potions, and then you can use these potions to breed 2 of your Axies, and then they'll spawn something else. Like, for example, and they all have different stats and body parts, and then these cards, which are what are used to play the game. And like these 2, these are the parents of this Axie. I know it sounds so corny, and to see a 7-foot tatted man talking about playing an NFT game with fluffy little animals. But I actually got into it because I was thinking about getting my daughters into it. Because they spend so much time with games like Roblox and all that they're not making any kind of return on that. But I thought, what if I got them started with their own Axie Infinity accounts and then let them play? Because what happens is, as you're leveling up your Axies and then you breed other Axies, you're able to sell those for like $80 worth of Ethereum. So, you know, and each one of these, like, I guess each one has 7. So you can breed ultimately for every 2 Axies you have, you can breed 7 more over a period of time, something to that effect. And they're all random statistics, but they're all based on, you know, different things, like, you know, ones that they're bugs or mechs, or some of them focus on healing or utility. Some focus on damage dealing. Some of them are tanky. So like those reptiles, these are all reptiles. And then I honestly, I think it's actually really cute, and the gameplay is okay. It's not the best because I'm like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's very, I don't know if it's a matter of finding the Axies that have the most universal use cases or cards to be played in battle. But anyway, check it out if you're into that stuff, because it's pretty cool. And somebody sent me this Cardano blockchain insights. This was actually pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of data in here for those of you guys. I think he posted it to my Twitter, and I checked it out, and I'm like, okay, this looks good. A lot of information. I mean, we're still delegated wallets. We're at 985,000 as of the 15th of December. 985,674 wallets delegating their ADA to nodes. Are the amount being delegated right now is still at 71.4%. So while you're seeing Cardano's price continue to go down a little bit and kind of hover between like $1.20 and $1.30 or whatever, I mean, the fact is the staking isn't being affected. I mean, like Charles said, all the key metrics associated with the blockchain are going up, and they're doing very, very well. The only thing that's going down right now is the price. And when you look at the rest of the market, everything else in the market is dipping pretty hard too. These are some of the big gainers right now in the last 7 days. Hedera H-bar, that's up 31%. That's good. Polygon Matic is up 16.76%. Part of me wonders if that's because of some of the bullish TA that I've been seeing lately on Matic. Solana is up 10%, which kind of is crazy to me considering it was just hacked again. I guess I'm trying to understand, how is Solana's price going up in the midst of yet another security breach on that blockchain, but Cardano is still being pushed down? I'm wondering. I don't know. I mean, the overall gist, though, is that once a lot of this stuff starts really kicking off on the Cardano blockchain, I think it's going to be much, much more difficult and much more expensive to suppress the price. So we'll have to see. I mean, there's no 100%, but ultimately, I'm still insanely bullish on Cardano. And like everything else, we're going to have growing pains. I know a lot of people have asked, "Have you sold yet? Have you sold yet?" Here's what I did. I put when the market started dropping from $3.14 down, I ended up putting a stop limit order because I'm like, well, we peaked out. I don't know what's coming 100%. I believe we're in a 2-peak market, but I don't know 100%. I still don't know 100%. So what I did was I put, basically I put a market limit sale order at $2.08, and it hit twice in the same day. So, and not for all of it, but just a percentage of my ADA, basically to give me a nest egg to pay my taxes, because I'm gonna have a pretty sizable tax bill, and maybe not. We'll see. I mean, because I got kind of the gist of what my businesses are gonna owe, and that was before taking into account business expenses and write-offs and things. But no matter what, I wanted to be more prepared than I was in the last big cycle, because I just wasn't. I ended up having to sell some stuff just to pay my tax bill, and it was an eye-opening thing. So, and the moral of that point is that whenever you do cash out, don't go buying that Lambo or that whatever right off the bat. Make sure the tax man is paid first, because that's really not a situation you want to get caught up in, because then you end up in a situation where you're having to work out a payment plan, and you only have so much time, and it's a very high monthly expense. So if you're not prepared for that, and then you just become like an employee for the IRS to pay down your tax debt. So plan more efficiently. I made the assumption that buying the property I bought was going to be one full write-off, and it wasn't. It wasn't until my accountant said, no, that's broken up over a 30-year period or whatever it is, or you can use 17%. I don't remember what it was, but they basically cut it up over time. So you don't get to buy property and then write that property off as an all-at-once business expense. They milk the shit out of you over time, and they give you little bit of credit every year. And that was a realization that sent me into a downward spiral that was not the easiest to get out. So make sure when you do cash out, whenever you cash out, whatever you do, you make sure you sit down with your accountant first and get a really good idea as to what you're going to owe, and put that aside so that you don't end up getting caught up. Everybody hates taxes. People can call it what it is, but it doesn't change the fact that if you don't pay it, you're going to be a hell of a lot worse off. Can't spend all your money in prison. So just keep that. I mean, you can, but I don't know how many honey buns and ho-hos you could really get to make your life that much better in a situation like that. Seriously, make sure you're playing your cards right. You don't want to get caught, trying to screw around or any of that. And that's the best advice I could give you. I mean, listen, we're going to dive deeper into some of this stuff. Let me know in the comments below. I mean, if there are other Cardano based projects that you'd really like me to dive deep into, let me know in the comments below. I will be watching, because I'm looking for things. I'm looking for things that I'm not just looking for the next shit coin that, this random guy, put $100 into, and he wants me to spend hours reading the white paper and researching. I want consensus. I want to know, listen, post a project. If other people are liking and agreeing with that comment, and I see enough, then I'll look into it. So if there's a project out there that you want to see me dive into and cover on this channel, let me know in the comments below of this video. And if there's enough demand for it, I will start looking into it, and I'll do a video segment on it. Okay. So until next time, guys, enjoy the holiday season, whatever holidays you celebrate. Hopefully your family is good and safe and enjoying the time. I've got my mother here, and we've got more family coming in. It'll be my first Christmas without any snow. So it's going to be really interesting. It's kind of odd. Honestly, it really is. There's a certain magic associated with, the visions and the, of snow and cold and all of that. So it's going to be different having a Christmas in Florida. Yeah, it'll be nice either way. So until next time, guys, crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon.
If it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a